Hey guys, so I'm not a movie account right now, so I'm just gonna repass the tutorial. I'm here today to talk to you about what the heck happened to the video game industry. Today, all we get are reboots, cash grabs, all that crap. Now, honestly, I want to talk about one special game, one game series that's honestly actually held up. I gotta talk about the Doom series. So if you've seen like Doom Eternal, you know that Doom Eternal is a kind of game that introduces actual gameplay rather than in-game cosmetics over and over again. And the video game industry these days is kind of like printers, if you think about it. Printers are basically just a way of saying screw you, alright? They're basically just a way of saying, haha, get scammed, you're trash. Basically, these days, it's like they come out with a new design every year, but it's not about the new design, it's about the things that come along with it. Basically, the ink cartridges. Ink cartridges are the things that make the money, not the printers themselves. And video games these days, kind of like, I don't know, like Fortnite and all that crap, especially Trove, even though I'm playing it, it's a terrible game. But, yeah, this game is full of, like, things that you can buy that just make the game easier. But this game actually lets you, like, acquire things instead of constantly having to, like, it lets you grind for things in a way, but it doesn't, like, push it to the whole, like, freaking limit where, oh, you want this outfit? You have to spend, like, $500 worth of, like, flux on it. No, basically, this game actually lets you, like, grind for things and get them without having the hassle of the game telling you that you have to buy this. Doom Eternal, I have to say, is one of the better games we've had throughout, like, the past, like, God knows how long. And it introduced content that you didn't have to pay for. It introduced combat that just threw you in there. Like, if you think about it, Call of Duty, it's basically, it's kind of like online. You take cover, you're so used to, like, going, like, you're so used to, like, using things like, I don't know, like cover, running away. And Doom Eternal just throws you into it. It's just like, screw it. You have to kill this guy, and if you don't go up to him and use the chainsaw, you'll run out of ammo, and you'll lose. And honestly, these days, the game industry has just been absolutely trash. Like, things like EA, reusing everything like The Sims, they used to be a beloved company until they got a little taste of, like, money, and they're just like, yeah, bro, let's just roll out all these DLCs and everything, and you have to pay $40 friggin' each, and it makes them a huge amount of money. But to be honestly speaking, this, like, Doom Eternal doesn't make you have to just throw all of your money away for a cosmetic. No, they let you do free packs, and the way that things like Fortnite work, they're like, oh, you have to buy a season pass, and I hate to say, with the free things are terrible, and it makes people want to buy the actual pass itself. But honestly, if you want a good pass, just look to Destiny 2. I mean, Destiny 2 has a pretty bad grind to it, honestly speaking, in my opinion. But the free things that it lets you have aren't like terrible. It's not like oh, you have to pay $10 for our season pass, and then you get a bunch of really cool looking cosmetic stuff. No, you get free stuff and like stuff you have to pay for during it, but it's all worth it either way. And in Destiny, most games will do like loot boxes, like EA did with the Star Wars Battlefront. They're just like here you have to buy all these loot boxes and crap, and have to pay a crap ton of like money for one item you want. Well, in Destiny 2, you get like a loot box aspect. You get the engrams, however you want to say it. You get those, and they give you guns, weapons, all that good stuff, and it doesn't get into such a repetitive system because they can be easily grinded. No, Doom Eternal doesn't put that aspect in because it's a game. It has content, and it's not all paid content. Now, like, I have to say, Doom has come a long way, and seeing as what they did with Doom 3, I think they were going in the way of, like, the games that were meta at the time. And the way they just planned out the game just did not feel right. So they came up with a plan. They rebooted the series with Doom 2016, rolling out freaking content after content with like battle mode, or not battle mode, that's Doom Eternal, like snap map, online, everything like that. And I think the servers are shut down, and that deeply saddens me. After I've played a lot of like Little Big Planet 3, I thought I'd come back to it a year ago, and servers was shut down, and I was very sad. But yeah, the way Doom Eternal was, it was like, they made it harder. They made it you like sink into your seat trying to pass a level on like Ultra Nightmare or something like that, trying to make you like better at the game rather than telling you like, you want this cosmetic, pay for it. Like, instead of making the gameplay stale and the same thing over and over again. Because with Doom Eternal, yeah, it's extremely stale. But once they added Horde mode in, you can just see how the game just got a lot more fun after that. And it just piped up with like Tag 1, Tag 2 coming out. Like, they rolled out so much content for that game that was completely free. But Tag 1, Tag 2, you had to buy those, but that's understandable because, let's be honest, they gotta make a little side money, because they saw that as an opportunity to get money and everything like that. But that's understandable. I mean, the packs are, I think, like $20 or so, and they're not too like overpriced because the content they roll out is freaking worth it. With like Doom, they don't make you have to feel like you have to buy something. They make you feel like if you want to buy it, just buy it. But if you don't want to buy it, it's fine. It's not going to change too many things. And I gotta say, with games like Rec Room that I've played, they like honestly give you such a nostalgic feel when you remember them. But playing them, games like Minecraft these days, they don't feel the same. Things like Call of Duty for some people, so I can't actually speak on my own behalf about playing Call of Duty because I've never actually been enticed into the series. I've never actually liked it. I mean, I've played a fair bit of Advanced Warfare, but I honestly sucked very badly at the game. In more recent years, people have just been using money as a way to say this is our excuse for making you have to pay for these things. So basically, crap. Games like Call of Duty and Halo, they're all unfinished. The only game series, the only game devs I really rely on to actually roll out content are games like Trove, that have the bot content, a lot of it, just not pay to win aspect, like Warframe, because Warframe is a huge grind for the littlest of things. If you want some tiny item, nope, you have to grind for hours upon hours upon hours to get it. But honestly, when it comes to Trove, you don't have to grind too much. And with games like the only games I can really rely on for content have to be the Trove devs. The three have to be the Hugo Martin, against or no, not that. Probably I'd have to say the Trove devs and Techland. Techland has released one of the only games in the past few years that's actually finished. Well, Dying Light 2 was not actually finished. It had its huge fair bit of bugs, but other than that, they were pretty much harmless, because games like Skyrim, their bugs were game-breaking, as in, they crashed your game and made it unplayable. But Dying Light had some pretty harmless glitches, and honestly, I have to say the hype lived up to its name, honestly. And the devs have made such a big name for themselves. And they haven't, I mean, with Dying Light 1, you've seen, they've released a crap ton of, DLC skins and stuff, but they're fairly cheap for what they bring, but fairly expensive for how bored you can get with them. And honestly, I hate to say, I don't think the whole gaming industry in itself will ever recover from such a hard stage that it's gone into. Nowadays, you get games that are unfinished, pay-to-win content, all that stupid crap, a bunch of cosmetics, toxic communities, and just so many, terrible games the App Store, dude. Back then, they, during 2016 was the golden years of life. The App Store was actually pretty good. But nowadays, all you get are, it's oh, a game released with this. It's a new trend. 5,000 other games. Literally piggybacking on the same thing. It's just terrible. And honestly, I had to say, the App Store is a lost soul by now. Every game just piggybacks on, other games. It's oh, I want to play a cool game. Nope, just the same thing. Games like Five Nights at Freddy's, I have to say, they are terrible at this point. Sister Location didn't feel the same, in my opinion. I practically grew up on Five Nights at Freddy's. I've played the first one, the second one, the third one, of the fourth one, but never anything after that except for Security Breach. I have to say, Security Breach in itself is a good game, but for a Five Nights at Freddy's game, it sucks. It's not Five Nights at Freddy's. Not in the slightest. Now, don't get me wrong, the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is not Five Nights at Freddy's. It's a terrible Five Nights at Freddy's game because it doesn't feel like it at all. But nowadays, you see games that are just so freaking typical, like recycled content. It's honestly only the indie games that actually roll out something fun. It's the things that are like original. If you see like Rec Room, they have a huge building community. They have fun mini games and everything in those maps. And nowadays they're just like kind of just recycled content off of what's popular, like Squid Game or something like that, or Poppy Playtime. It's just honestly so repetitive. But the creators that are like so like not known at all, I hate to say they roll out the best content. Like, if you've ever seen coolmathgames.com, it's full of like people that release their own games and everything. They're usually like super fun because they're not the same crap that you're so used to seeing. Like, a new game gets hyped on the PlayStation Store and, well, usually doesn't live up to its name because, like, Cyberpunk 2077, it always sucks. It's just going to suck so bad. Honestly, I don't know what else to say other than the gaming community is terrible these days with such a huge toxic community, and especially Oculus. I have to say, I'd highly recommend a PSVR over the Oculus any day, seeing as how many issues are with it. I mean, after being released after a year, I'd expect them to like, I'd expect it to get maybe a bit better, and honestly, Rec Room is such a bad game with its devs, and the devs don't care about the community. They only care about you buying their cosmetics. They're like 10,000 freaking tokens each, which is like, what is it, like $10? I'm not sure. Maybe, or no, that's around $20 for one freaking exclusive item. The people just try and farm cash off of everybody these days, and it's just the same thing every time. New game? Well, it's the same thing. You want a cool experience in a game? Nope, trash. And with Oculus, I have to say, its community is so terrible because it's full of, like, freaking kids that just came out of the womb. They're like, oh, it's Christmas. I want an Oculus. Gets an Oculus. Freaking trolls the crap out of people, starts being annoying and screaming. Now, the PSVR, I have to say, has terrible resolution, but has high graphics. And the Oculus, its graphics are extremely low. But that's besides the point. The Oculus community has way too many little kids on it, and it's extremely annoying. But PlayStation, honestly, the PSVR, let's all be honest, it's one of the worst VRs out there. But have you ever seen the community? I came back to it, and back to Rec Room on PSVR, and it's not too bad. But I've seen how much it's improved. I've seen how much it's improved over, like, I don't know, a year or so that I haven't played it, and the community isn't too bad on there. It's not full of little kids that just came out of the womb wanting to play like a VR game. No, it's usually more mature adults that are just like either like a freaking mirror couple or something like that in Rec Room, or playing Echo VR where it's just little kids ridding the servers of every person because of their super annoying like personality. Now, I myself have struggled with many gaming like communities being like many games being the downfall of their own series. Like Trove, I mean, this game was pretty fun at first, but that's your first experience, and you'll never get that back. If you play something like Minecraft, it doesn't feel the same. Like, it's so new, it just doesn't feel the same. But if you play a game that doesn't, like, have any more support anymore. It's honestly mostly the same experience. You don't get that same feeling. Cause I played Rec Room, I gave up on that crap. Like I just got really annoyed because the community is super loud and annoying. But I came back and I got fairly the same experience after not playing for a month or two. Because the game hadn't gone through too many changes, but when it comes to Trove and Rec Room, these games that are like so small in themselves, they are so like the game existing is the downfall of its own player base and the game itself. And whenever you see Trove, its updates are terrible, but they at least add like new content. They're just not as good in my opinion, and super confusing. Like the Rec Room Maker Pen UI. These days they were all terrible updates, overhauling the UI with absolute terrible crap that nobody asked for. Literally nobody asked for. Know what they do? They still release it. And it's just the updates that ruin the games. Because games like Fortnite, they used to be very fun in the beginning. But as soon as they, like, evolved into such a big corporation, they've taken a huge toll on themselves. Updating, like, like, Fortnite with its AI are, like, very annoying. The AI are super annoying, but the updates, they just ruin the game. The game ruins itself, and it dies out like trends. And the gaming community is very terrible at this point. It's the same thing over and over again. Well, I mean, I can't really say that because I've been repeating the same things during this whole stream. Because I have no idea what to say. I'm just like, yeah, screw it, go. And all I have to say about the gaming community is that it's the downfall of itself, and I reckon in, I don't know, maybe 10 years, it'll be extremely popular, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to have the same, like, traction it has, probably, after COVID, like, just goes away, and yeah, once people start, like, physically interacting a lot more, I also think that gaming is going to just be something that's extremely frowned upon. Because when it comes to old games like Halo, like, I saw somebody actually mention this in their video. I forgot their, like, the YouTuber, but they said, compare Halo 3, they compared it to Halo Infinite, rolled out on release with less content than Halo 3. Like, Halo 3, when it released, had more content than Infinite. And I've seen the same with, like, Call of Duty, because I've just been the kind of person that's like, oh, that game is cool. I couldn't give any less of a crap about it. But the game is, like, the games like Call of Duty are just like, they used to pop off. They used to get so much popularity, gain so much traction, release actually new things instead of recycling content. GTA. And they'd have a strong player base. Well, I mean, toxic, no anti-cheat, so very annoying people, but it was a laugh. Like, seeing people nowadays is just, like, kind of annoying, because they, like, really get on your back, but back then, I used to watch my brother play, and in the lobbies, people would curse, say racial slurs, but it was funny, because you know they didn't actually mean it. They only said it as a joke. And it was just extremely funny, but nowadays, people actually, like, mean their toxicity, and there's too much of it. But yeah, people have just grown on the fact that bugs, glitches, bad people exist, but they haven't grown on it enough that they know what to expect. And honestly, I'm just gonna end the stream here, but I'm gonna end it off saying, that the gaming community is terrible, and I hope that it either like gets like I hope it either like shuts down in popularity or just shuts down popularity but rises back up as something better. And all I want is like for the rise of humanity, not like retarded humans like going around spreading opinions, acting like they're right. Because we see too much of that these days, and humans think of themselves as smarter than others. But back then, people would joke around, they'd know each other, they'd know people. And they used to be like the same, but not so much that it gets so stale. They'd be the same kind of people that are like, oh, I'm smarter than you. It's like, oh, haha, you're smarter than me. I don't care. But people these days just think they're smarter than everybody else, think they're above everybody else, and yeah, the human species is terrible. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Boom.